Argentina's National Electoral Chamber announced that all health protocols are in place for the midterm elections of September 12th and November 14th. We have more details in the following report with our collaborator, Oscar Morquera.
Exclusive interview with TeleSUR Deputy General Director of Argentina's Electoral Chamber, Dr. Gustavo Mason, explained the health measures put in place for the midterm elections in the South American country, following a protocol specially designed to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. This health protocol involves lining up outside the establishment, with social distancing, the use of face masks, and if the health facilitator requires it, we will enter when the facilitator requires it, as well as the sanitation of our hands. There will be a limited capacity, that is to say a certain number of people inside the polling stations. The areas will be constantly sanitized. The voting areas will be ventilated every 2 hours for a period of 10 minutes. Polling stations will be open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. local time on Sunday, September the 12th, but the National Electoral Chamber will give priority to special cases. However, it is worth mentioning that according to the health protocol, there is a preferential timetable for people at risk. That is to say that between 10:30 a.m. and 12:30 p.m., those people at risk will be able to vote. In the case of Buenos Aires City, Dr. Servini extended the schedule to the whole day for people at risk, who will have priority. This time round, there will be 25% more polling stations. The total number of schools prepared as stations nationwide exceeds 17,000, and voters will only be able to take off their masks to prove their identity at the moment of showing up before the electoral authority. Let's remember then the voting process. Once we enter, we have to show the document, we put it on the table, we take the ballot, we go to the voting booth. In the voting booth, we will put the ballot in that envelope, and in the booth, we will cast the ballot. Just fold it, without using saliva on it. Then, we put it on the ballot box. We will sign the stub with our pen, and in case we do not carry one, we will be given one. The National Electoral Chamber suggests entering the polling stations without accompanying children in order to respect the distancing protocols. Dr. Mason gave details of the work carried out by the justice system of the South American country to guarantee the midterm voting. Once the scrutiny is finished by the whole electoral justice system of the country, there are 24 judges who will be in charge of carrying out the definitive scrutiny 48 hours later. Let's remember that the valid scrutiny is that conducted at the voting table, and the definite scrutiny will be carried out 48 hours after the vote. Since March of last year, the electoral justice system has studied 200 electoral processes around the world and guarantees the safety of the elections in this South American country. And what I'm going to ask you all to do is to find yourselves on the electoral register at padron.gov.ar, because it is necessary that you know with certainty in which polling station you will exercise your right to vote. That additional 20% of stations could have changed the establishment or the school where you were used to go to vote. Voting here is voluntary for those between 16 and 18 years of age. It is compulsory for citizens between 18 and 70 and optional for those over 70.